So in thinking about Act 4, Scene 5, and the question of when Gentleman or Horatio enters and anticipates Ophelia's entrance, how much thought, if any, is he attributing to Ophelia? Is it possible to attribute thought to Ophelia? I think actually the place I'd like to start is a little bit earlier in that same speech. He says, so this is Gentleman or Horatio, depending on the quarto or not, he says, her speech is nothing, yet the unshaped use of it doth move the hearers to collection. So I was struck by the word nothing, and actually that's a word which can have gendered implications, certainly, especially for female genitalia, and this is talking about Ophelia's entrance, Ophelia as sort of the young, presumably virginal character of the play. And so I think by bringing up the fact that her speech is nothing, right, it's no thing, there's a certain anxiety there already, right, about speech that's nothing, about an absence. But again, I think an absence that can carry a certain sort of gendering cadence. And again, you can think about like Much Ado About Nothing is the obvious example here. And okay, so why does that matter? I think if we're going to the next line, yet the unshaped use of it doth move the hearers to collection. It's nothing, and it's nothing that can become then, by extension, anything, and it can sort of project onto anyone. And then when we move a little bit later in the speech, he says that the listeners botch her speech, which is I think a fascinating word choice, right? So she says these things that maybe do or maybe don't have any sense or any thought behind them, and that the speakers then aim or yawn at it and botch the words up to fit their own thoughts. And so I was thinking about botch a little bit, which can be obviously sort of bungle or mess up in the way that we would think about it, but can also be just like sew or repair or mend, which is putting things together, right? So it's not fragmentation, it's actually, it's additive, right? So I think the idea that Ophelia's speech is somehow nothing, is unformed, unshaped, but that it's projected to the listeners and that they then take it and sort of put it together in certain ways, that's the source of anxiety to me, I think, for the Gentleman or Horatio, whoever we've got talking here. So the botching, I think, might be dangerous or threatening because it can't be controlled or necessarily predicted. It's the speech that Ophelia is going to say is unshaped, and Gentleman or Horatio seems unable to anticipate what the botching will look like, because it's botched to fit their own thoughts, and sort of who can know the thoughts of another, right? We don't know what other people are thinking, so it might be a kind of high-low mixing, right? It might be botching together aristocratic with popular, but it might also just be I don't know, good with the bad, virgin with whore, right? Anything like that, right? But any of those is going to be threatening because it's A, not able to be predicted, and B, sort of hard to parse or hard to sort apart, which I think maybe speaks to the anxiety that the courtiers then begin to feel when Ophelia actually does begin to sing the ballads that she's going to sing.